Hi everyone. Today I will show you a demo of the Voss Automate platform. Voss Automate automates your unified communication use cases like user provisioning, DID management, configuration of phones, and all of that across multiple platforms like Cisco Call Manager, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and others. Today it's just a quick walkthrough of the Automate platform that Voss has, and talk about some use cases. So now that you see on the screen, this is the homepage of the Voss Automate platform, where there are a number of things that are shown. So on the top left is this is a demo instance. So this would be your customer name. It could be your company name, or it could be your customer's name on the top left. Then for that customer, how many sites does the customer have? How many users does this customer has? How many phone numbers assigned? All those will be listed here with some quick actions below, and usage growth chart in terms of how many phones are being used, how many users are leveraging the different platforms, and so on. So this is the home page, and if you click on, let's say, sites, it will show you all the sites that your particular customer has, and the location, state, country, etc. All of that information you can go back. It's a good neat page to know how many sites you have, how many users you have, and how many phone numbers you have. Then these are the list of users. You can add filters here. So for example, if I want to look at probably from a location point of view, I can just put, let's say, Reading, for example, and just click enter, and it would show you the users who are based out of Reading, and so on. And there are multiple filters that you can play with. Then on this home page, there are few settings. So it will show you who's logged in, and you can log out from here. If you want any help, you can click on this help page, and it will take you to a new page with the VOSS documentation for the latest release. Any transaction log, so if you make any changes, it will be recorded in the transaction log. This is pretty neat feature, because when you have heterogeneous environments like Cisco Call Manager and Microsoft Teams, you want to know who changed what. So it's important for auditing and reverting back some changes which were not supposed to happen, and so on. And then messages, if there is any messages that, let's say, it's a login failure on VOSS, and you would see that here, and if there are alerts, that you'd see it here, etc. So it's a good neat page to see everything. Now if we go under site management, so this is the first thing that we would do if you're onboarding VOSS for any customer. And before we go into site management, just a quick word on the deployment. VOSS Automate platform can be deployed in VMware versions 5.1 and above, and also if you have cloud environments and you don't use VMware or don't want any on-prem deployments, then you could use Azure to deploy VOSS Automate. If your customer is not using Azure, you're using AWS or GCP, you can deploy it, but with guidance from the VOSS professional services, because there could be some variables that need to change, and you need to adapt accordingly. But pretty much most customers have Azure, so should be easy enough. And since we are talking about unified communication, so customers could either be leveraging Cisco and could be using VMware, they could be using Microsoft Teams, and hence could be using Azure, and so on. So that's more on the deployment. But like I said, let's go into site management. So if you are to, now this particular demo customer has 27 sites across the globe. Your customer could have hundreds or fewer, or maybe it depends on the customer type. You can either click here and view all your sites, and you can filter based on the country, state, whatever, and see the different sites. And if you want to add a new site, you can click on add, and you can easily create a new site. It's a neat feature, because what you are doing here is you are tagging your users to a site, and then if you want to release or change a certain policy in, let's say, Microsoft Teams, you can make the changes, apply to the site, and it impacts everybody. So it's easy to make changes to a particular site. You could bundle up multiple sites and do the same thing. So it's a good feature to have, and it gives you that visibility that you're looking for. You can delete sites as well. So now the second thing on this portal is number management. A lot of the customers I have seen, especially a year ago, they're managing DIDs or DDIs as you call in the UK on Excels or some SharePoint site with Excel and so on. So the centralized control is not there. There is a lot of manual process, and you could end up in a situation where a number is assigned to a user and somebody did not update in the Excel file, and that number is assigned to another user and causes confusion and chaos, and productivity is lost. Sometimes customers, if an incoming customer is calling on that number, you could possibly lose a sales lead there and so on. So what Voss Automate does is manages all your inventory of numbers. So in this dashboard, you see the chart on the right, bottom right, showing you how many numbers are available, how many are used, and then there are obviously cooling periods, and you could reserve some numbers. And cooling could be in cases where, let's say, if I'm working for a company, I have a number but I resign and someone else joins, so I would be releasing my number, and then you just don't want to assign that number to someone else directly. You might want to wait 7 days, 14 days before assigning that to someone else. So but it's a good pie chart to show the different kind of numbers, and you can click here, or you can click at the different boxes here to understand the inventory, how many numbers are available, how many are reserved, and you could add, update inventories, number inventories. You can view the lines. So for example, if I view the lines, then it will show me what are the directory numbers that I have, what is the description of the directory number, then alerting names and so on. So this is primarily a call manager thing. So calling search space, call pickup groups, route partition, this is coming from call manager, but in general, you could manage your lines here. Then you can maybe add an inventory, add phone numbers, and you could add a range of numbers for a particular site. So maybe you added a new office in some location in, let's say, United States, and you just bought 100 numbers for that location. So you could just create the site in site management and associate those numbers to the site and create a range here. So that way it's easier to provision. And if users join that location, they'll just be automatically given those numbers from that site, because they are associated to that site, and any available number can be automatically given to them. You can export the numbers from here if somebody wants a report out of this, and it's a handy tool, because if, let's say, especially after COVID, we realized that we don't really need so many numbers. So what you would end up doing is paying for numbers which are not being used. So you could pull up a report, see what numbers are being used, what numbers are not being used. For the numbers that are not being used, you can pull up a report, when was it last used, and so on, and run a project within your customer or within your company to understand how many numbers are not being used, and then talk to the service provider and remove those numbers completely. So it helps you in cost benefits as well. So it's just a simple tool, but has significant benefits. Then is your subscribers. So in Voss's terms, a user associated with a service is called a subscriber, but it's basically a user. Now you could have a customer using Microsoft Teams, and you could have customer using Cisco phones and so on, and Cisco extension mobility profile. So if I click on subscribers for a second, so this will show me all the list of the users that are created in my Voss instance for this particular customer, and what kind of a user type it is. Is it an end user? Is it an admin? So possibly the user that I'm logged in with right now would show up here. So I could, let's say I do my name, and it should show up. So it shows my user, and both of them are admin here, and so on. So, and that are created in this particular custom demo instance. So that is one thing. Then you had the other thing was MS Teams. So under MS Teams, if you look, there are you could create multiple display names. So for example, your particular customer has a sales and marketing team. So if I click on sales and marketing, I can associate the subscribers or the users to this group. So I could have a sales and marketing group with, let's say, so many users, and I can say that these particular users in the sales and marketing group has certain member settings. Like for example, they can allow create update channels. This is because this is under Microsoft Teams, so it will list all the Microsoft Teams settings, and any changes like message settings, guest settings, and all fun settings, all that. And if you make a change here, it will be reflected on all of these users. So it's a good handy way to make changes to a particular group. You can create your own group as well, depending on your requirements, and just set the display name, which users you need to associate with this group, which channels you want to associate, and then update the settings based on your requirement, and then there you go. Then this is the number. Then let's say Cisco phone, so you could manage your phones here, what kind of phone it is. It could be a analog phone or a 7900, 8800, etc. Who's it assigned to, and what kind of phone it is. Is it a CSF, which is a Jabber? Is it a Jabber application, or is it an application deployed on an iPhone or an Android, and so on? So you can do all of that here. The one thing that I like so far in this subscriber is and what I've seen in my own experience, customers, especially enterprises, have multiple unified communication solutions. So I have so far not yet opened the call manager page or Microsoft Teams page or whatever. I have everything put in this single pane of glass. So what it does is it saves a lot of time and effort, and I can make changes right from this dashboard, and it will reflect into both Cisco and Microsoft Teams and Zoom admin portal. So that is one of the beauty of these kind of products, is you can just use one page to make changes across the different on-prem and or cloud PBX platforms. Now I can add a local subscriber here, or I can view the subscribers. I can check the subscriber profiles, what kind of profiles you could have, and this is pretty neat function, because like I said, in case of heterogeneous environments, I could let's say, let me pick up something. So let's say I pick up this one, Microsoft Teams standard profile. Now I could say that this profile uses Cisco for voice but Microsoft Teams for collaboration, or Jabber for enterprise voice but Teams for collaboration. Or if you don't use Jabber or Cisco voice, you can just say WebEx for calling and or WebEx meetings and Microsoft Teams for collaboration. So you could basically create subscriber profiles, assign that profile to a user, or user is associated to a profile, and accordingly the user will be configured in the system. So if a new joinee comes in, and in your organization you use Microsoft Teams for collaboration and Cisco WebEx for enterprise voice, you can just create a profile on that. For any new joinee, this profile needs to be associated, and associated phone numbers will be given on Cisco WebEx, while policies will be given on Microsoft Teams for collaboration and internal chat purposes and meetings. So you could have multiple profiles like this based on your requirement, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, so again, it's a neat feature to. It's not nice to have anymore. It is must have, especially for enterprises who use multiple technologies, unified communication technologies, and you could do lot of things from here. And the beauty of this product is I don't even have to do this manually. I can set it up automation. This is Automate. So what we do is basically, if I am talking about end-to-end automation, so I could just open up let's say a ServiceNow ticket with all the fields required to trigger an automation in Voss Automate, and then Voss Automate will go to Microsoft Teams, Cisco, or WebEx, or whatever platform, and make the changes, come back, tells my ServiceNow that things have been configured, notes are updated in ServiceNow when the user is sent an email or some notification with their credentials and with everything. So for a user, they just have to open a ticket, and that ticket creation can also be automated, especially for new joinees. Once that ServiceNow is integrated with an HRMS platform, or it is integrated with some Active Directory, or you can integrate your Active Directory directly with Voss Automate. So Voss Automate will detect new users created in a particular with a particular settings, and will trigger automation in its automation platform, and will trigger Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and Cisco, and sort and get the configuration done. Just send an email to the user with all the information. So you could have an end-to-end automation framework built around some of these tools, and this significantly reduces your human effort, especially the IT effort, and improves user experience a lot. So moving on, this is the tab to just manage the phones and mobility. So you could add a phone here, or you could add an extension mobility profile, or view phones, and it will show you all the different phones, where are the phones assigned, and what kind of template is this. This is primarily created for Cisco, but it can manage your Teams phones as well, not a problem. Then headsets, just like phones, you could have your headsets shown up here. Voicemail accounts, so again, it depends what kind of platforms you're using, but you could have voice users with their voicemails associated. Again, this would be primarily related to Cisco, but even if it was Teams integrated, it would you would I mean, it's all integrated, collaborated within Microsoft Teams itself. So this is more for Cisco. Then the collaboration tab on the left shows you WebEx. So how many WebEx app users you have configured, what kind of settings that WebEx user has. For example, Adam Booker has this number, and he has a calling enabled in WebEx app, and so on and so forth. You could have WebEx places created. Again, just like sites, you could create WebEx places, and how many this is more around your meeting rooms. So how many so this is the meeting room. Bradford meeting room 1 is a meeting room with 5 capacity, and what is the SIP address of the meeting room, what kind of devices. So this is cool feature and very neat, because you don't have to go into the room to know what's in there. So you could come here and look at your room devices and manage the devices remotely, which significantly reduces your on-site effort hours. And then obviously whatever WebEx devices you have deployed, it could show up here, and the type of device, and you can maybe open a device and see the different configuration elements that are there, and make decisions as to what needs to happen for that particular device. Voss Automate is just not for unified communication. You could have your contact center as well integrated here. In this demo platform it is not, but you could it could show up your agents, teams, contact service queue, user resource groups, and you can manage all the contact center requirements from here. Then call groups. So this call groups is, as you would know, it's more of a light contact center. So you, for example, in the Microsoft Teams world, you could have Microsoft Auto Attendants created, like these two that are created, which takes your calls and distributes across the Microsoft Teams environment. You could have a Microsoft call queue created from here, and for example, it's a sales queue, so you could put up the greetings, music on hold, and do whatever configuration you have to do from this page, and it will reflect in your Microsoft Teams tenant. Then and again, just to add, you just come here and add it. It's pretty simple to add and make changes to. In case of Cisco, if you have hunt groups, you can come here, make changes, and configure your hunt groups. Or if it's call pickup groups in Cisco, then you can do it here. It's simple. Again, one platform to do everything. And I could, there are a number of quick actions below that I could use. I could, let's say, click on resource accounts. It will show me the list of it seems I don't have access to that feature, but yeah, it will show me the resource account. I can add an auto attendant in Microsoft Teams from here. I can configure the call flow, um, the after hours call flow, greeting options, holiday call flows, what is the dial scope, where to send the call to, etc. The resource accounts, so you need associated resource account for that particular auto attendant where you would assign a phone number. Then only the calls will come land on auto attendant. So you could pretty much configure everything here, and it will be reflected in your tenant. Next is your managing of the mailboxes, and then there are some tools. Like I said, if you make any changes, you'll see all the transaction logs here, whatever changes happen. And then bulk load is where you can upload your bulk sheets and make changes to it. Simple example is you could upload a list of DIDs to the VOSS Automate portal to manage them. So this is a quick walkthrough of the VOSS Automate platform. I intentionally did not show you the use cases because I would do further videos on some of these use cases, but it should give you a good idea as to what VOSS Automate is all about, what kind of use cases you can solve. There are few important things to note. Using platforms like VOSS is helpful when you're managing heterogeneous environments where more than one PBX vendor is available for a particular customer. You are spread globally, or at least you have a widespread in terms of geography, and your users are spread across, especially across different countries. And nowadays some are remote, some are hybrid, some going to office, so that also is factored. And again, there are a number of things that you could do, like I've shown. In my own experience, I've seen significant reduction in IT costs, especially from a management perspective. But it also helps in doing migrations. So if, let's say, you are migrating from Cisco to Microsoft Teams and you already have an Automate platform built in, so you could leverage the migration capabilities. Because VOSS has a migration tool as well, so you would, in your automation platform, you would have all the data, and then this data, and if you're, let's say, going to, example, you're going to Microsoft Teams from Cisco. So VOSS Automate is integrated with your Cisco environment today, and you're doing all the user provisioning in Cisco. If Microsoft Teams is integrated with VOSS Automate, you could quickly switch the configuration, create or update your current profiles, and make the required changes in VOSS Automate platform itself. I don't have to use PowerShell scripts or any of that sort to do that migration. And with VOSS's capability and the assurance that you get with using these kind of solutions is that you will have errors. There will never be a case where you will not have errors, but you can look at the transaction logs, you can look at various audit logs to understand what kind of errors are these and how to fix them in the future, rather than running scripts. And again, you need people with those skills to know the scripts, and so there is relevance to these kind of solutions in that sense. And it made me realize that I should at least do some demos to show you that relevance. And if you feel that this demo was sufficient and you like the portal and you want to explore more, you can always contact VOSS. You can always contact me. I can put you in touch with VOSS. That's not a problem. And happy to answer any questions. If you want to go through the portal, just look at the video again and let me know if you have any questions. And if I don't know the answer, I can contact VOSS and get the answers for you. And if you all are already using VOSS, I would love to hear your story and share what kind of benefits you have realized by using these kind of solutions. So that's it for this walkthrough today for VOSS Automate. I'll come out with more videos for VOSS, for their other solutions, and also for other vendors where they are doing some kind of unique stuff, and I will bring those demos and videos for you. Thank you for watching today. Thank you. Have a good day.